Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're all doing well. Okay, so this week I have decided that it is finally almost spring. I think next week we're gonna get into full-on spring, but this week I'm really excited about it. It's almost here, but yet not quite. So what I wanted to do was do a scene from inside of a house, looking out of a window, kind of, at the still sort of wintry landscape outside, but having nice, fresh green plants in the window. To me, that's always sort of a precursor to spring, having the live plants in the window. And I'm sitting in my living room now, and I'll show you guys a picture of the sun coming in with the plants in front of it. It's nothing too fantastic. It's right over here. I'll show you in a second. It's nothing too fantastic, but I like when the light comes in and it looks really nice. So anyway, so I did this this fun little drawing of the house plants on the windowsill, and then I went in and watercolored mine. But I know that we did watercolor last week, and I didn't want to tie you guys down to doing watercolor. And I think that we've done enough lessons on the different types of media that you should be able to use, whichever kind that you want to color it in, and be able to do a good job, a decent job. So if you want to do watercolor, go ahead and do watercolor. I think two other things that would be good would be colored pencil, or you could also use markers for this one. I did outline mine in Sharpie when I was done drawing it, or not Sharpie. I actually used my micron pen, but you guys can use either Sharpie or micron pen. And then I want you to have some freedom to color it in how you want, okay? Now, something I do want you to pay attention to while you're doing that is paying attention to your light source, which would be the light from outside of the window, and then also where your shadows are going to be, okay? So your shadows are going to be like on the back side of the pots, and, the folds of the curtain, and maybe the wall next to the window. Okay, so, and you guys can use my sample as a guide for the lights and the darks and all of that. But I want you to focus on that, no matter what media you're using, make sure that you do kind of focus on that a little bit. Actually, with markers, you're not going to be able to do that quite as much. But with watercolor or colored pencils, do pay attention to that and try to do that. Also outside, because it's still kind of wintry, and also because it's further away, your colors outside are going to be less vibrant. So maybe a little bit more grays, or toned down colors. They're not going to be bright colors. But then the colors inside of your window for your plant and your pot should be nice and bright and vibrant. Okay, so anyway, I'll let you guys go get your supplies. We'll just start out with pencil and eraser, and then you guys can get whatever supplies you want to color it in. And I'll put in a picture of my window after I'm done talking here. And at the end of the video, I'll put my finished scene so that if you want to pause it on that and use that as a sample for the coloring and the lights and the shadows, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, so go get your stuff, and I hope you guys have fun with this one. It's a little bit different, but I hope you enjoy it, okay? Okay, I'll see you in a minute. Thanks. The very first thing that I want to do is make a line, I would say maybe a quarter of the way up the page. So maybe like 2 inches up, and we're just going to go straight across the page. I'm going to draw lightly because we are going to erase some of these lines as we go along. I'm going to do one more right on top of it. Okay, that's just going to be like a little piece of trim on our wall. Okay, and now we're going to make a big rectangle. This is going to be the window. And you can bring your window up as high as you want. I'm going to stop mine a couple inches from the top. And that is my kitten, Mr. Ron, saying hello. He wants to play. Okay, so there's our rectangle with our double line underneath. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're actually going to make a second rectangle. This one we're going to do very lightly because we're going to end up erasing most of it. We're just going to do a second rectangle, and we're going to make sure that it's the same distance away from our other rectangle on all sides. And I'm using short strokes just because it's easier for me to control the direction of my line if I use short strokes instead of a big, long, heavy stroke. Okay, so basically like that. And now I'm going to draw diagonal lines from the outer corner to the inner corner. Okay, so that is our window. This is our window sill that our plants are going to sit on. This is kind of like a, I don't know what you call it, but it's set like into the wall. And then this part here is the actual window part. So for our window, most of this isn't going to show. As a matter of fact, you know what? We're not going to even do the sides, but what I'm going to have you do is up here, we're going to have a line like that. And then another one down here, and make it about the same distance. Like this space here should be the same as this space. Technically, this would be the wood that goes around the whole window, but we're going to cover the two sides with curtains, so I'm not going to worry about the two sides. Okay, and then the last thing that we're going to do, I'm going to have you very lightly draw basically a plus sign. Okay. And then go like this inside of it, along the edges on the left and the right, and on the top and the bottom of the one that we already drew. There we go. And now if you want to, you can erase the middle line. It doesn't really matter. You can leave all three, and that way this can be like a little bit of a ridge. Or you can erase this center one if you want. Okay, now we're going to throw in our curtain rod and our curtains. So our curtain rod is going to go actually just about where this line is. As a matter of fact, I think we can use this line as the top of our curtain rod. So from there, we're just going to go out to about there and do the same thing over here. Go about halfway into this shape over here. Okay, and then we're going to do a curved line and a curved line and come through here one more time. So this is our curtain rod that we just drew. And now I do need to erase these lines in here. Okay, so I'm just gonna really gently erase these little lines out of my curtain rod. We're gonna do a little bit more erasing as we get more of our finished drawing in here. For example, right now we have our curtain rod, but now we have to put our curtain on it. So we're gonna come over here. We're gonna basically make like a little oval, or we're gonna do like a curved line, and then bring it around like this so that it looks like it's going behind the curtain rod. Actually, on that side, it kind of looks like a C. On this side over here, it'd be like a backwards C. It's going to go up and around and down like that. Okay. And now I'm going to have you do a squiggly line, basically to the edge of our curtain rod. And same thing over here. And then we're going to draw a straight line, basically a straight line, down to where this line meets the diagonal there. And then over here, we're going to do the other side of the curtain. So we're just going to let this gently kind of swoop down, but we're going to make it, a little bit curvy just to give it a little bit of shape. And then we're going to erase these other lines out of here. So we're going to erase all of these lines out of my curtain. I did the left and the right side of my curtain. Okay, and also up here, we're going to erase the curtain rod out of our curtain. Like that. Okay. Just clean that up a little bit. And then down here, we can just kind of make a curved line like that to connect the two sides. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. So we're just going to do like a curvy line to the edge and then come down, and then another kind of curvy line to this edge. And then over here, we're going to do a mostly straight line down until it meets this line, the curved line or the angled line. And then over here, we're going to start on this side of the curtain, and we're just going to gently kind of swoop it in over like that. Okay, actually I should bring this down. Make sure that this curtain is the same length as this curtain. So it should go down to about the same place. And then it can be kind of curvy at the bottom and connect on the other side. Okay, so now I'm going to erase these lines. There we go. So I'll just kind of fix that a little bit. Okay, now I'm gonna do a couple things. This fabric up here is all bunched up. Okay, so I'm gonna make these little kind of lines, just little tiny kind of strokes that are kind of curved. They're not quite a C, but they're just like a little bit of a bent line to kind of show where the fabric is gathered. Okay, we're going to do that on both sides. And then we're going to put some folds in our curtain by just doing real gentle kind of sweeping lines. And now as we get over to the right side, we're going to kind of just have to make room for them to fit in here, like that. And then same thing over here on this side. We'll start on the right. something like that, just like gentle little folds in the curtain. Okay, so what do we have here? So we have our wall, we have a little bit of trim, we have this little ledge, our window, our curtain rod, and our curtains. So now I'm going to start by putting some plants in. Now, if you guys have different plants that you want to put in, I'm completely okay with that. You know, if you have something at home that you want to use, or a picture that you want to use of different types of plants besides the ones that I'm using, I'm totally okay with that. Right now I'm making a plant stand, so I'm making just a little oval, but I'm not going to finish this top right here, because right there I'm going to put a little pot. Just sort of two little angled lines with a slightly curved line at the bottom, and that's sitting on this little plant stand that I have here. Okay, so let me finish this plant stand. This can be any shape in the world. I'm really just kind of making this up here. So do whatever shape you think looks nice. I'm going to have it kind of curve down and then go straight, and then the bottom is going to have a curve like that. Okay, and then I'm going to erase these lines out of it. Anytime that we put an object in front of an object that we've already drawn, we have to erase those lines out, unless of course the object is see-through. But if the object isn't see-through, then anytime that we draw over another object, we need to erase those lines out. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put another little curved line right here, maybe right here too. Okay, and that's just going to be a real simple little plant stand. For this pot, I'm going to go ahead and just put a straight line across there. And now I'm just going to make some leaves. I'm going to make like a stem. And again, you can use any kind of leaf you want. The kind that I'm doing look kind of like long hearts that are ruffly. So I'm going to start right here. I'm going to go up, but I'm going to make it real kind of ruffly. And I'm going to go up on this side and go roughly. Again, I'm going to erase these lines out. Okay, and then I'm going to start at this point, like at the center of my heart, if you want to think of the leaf as a heart. And I'm going to go up. I'm just going to take these little lines. I'm going to keep going from that same point. And have little lines come out to the side. Okay, like that. Now I'm going to do another one right up here. Now this one's going to go the other way this time. This is going to be my center. I'm going to go up and around, and then up and around. And I'll start here, like that, and just put little lines in it. And then of course he needs a stem. Now the stem is going to go to the center though, so I'm going to have it come out like here, and then the rest of it would be hidden behind the leaf. Okay, now you can do a couple more hearts if you want. I'm going to have some leaves that are kind of like sideways, so I'm going to put them kind of behind this one here, and it's just going to basically be a ruffle with a point at the end. Maybe I only need 3 leaves on that one. On my first one I did a whole bunch more, but I actually like just the 3. It's kind of fun and simple. So I think I'm done with that. Fix my little window there. Okay, now I'm going to do a second pot over here. So, let me do my base first. My base is going to be about right here. That's going to be a little bit of a curved line. And then you know, whatever shape pot fits in the spot that you have. And then I'm going to do a little oval at the top. Again, trace these little lines out. Okay, now this one here, I don't even know if this plant really exists in nature. I'm just drawing stems and leaves. This one here, I decided this one was going to have a stem with a bunch of little round leaves on it. I'm thinking that it's some type of a succulent, but I'm not really sure. And I want it to have some long dangly ones too that come down like that. So it's going to have a little hook up here because it's going to come out of your pot and come up and then around. But it's going to have those same little tiny leaves. Now don't make them so little that you can't color them. But basically just tiny little leaves. They can be circles or they can be ovals. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple of these trailing ones. Sometimes you can just have a little bit of fun and let it be curvy. Now in theory, again, anytime that you draw a line over another line here, you would erase it. These were so little. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to actually do that. For the time being, I'm just going to let it be. Maybe this one will come in like that. There may be a couple more that are just standing up straight, like they haven't curved down yet. Maybe they're not heavy enough. Or maybe they're going towards the sunlight. I don't know. Just a couple going up like that. Okay, so I think I'm good with that. I think I'm happy with that. Now over here is going to be my last one, and I'm going to make this one a little aloe. So first I'm going to start with my pot. And again, your pot can really be any shape, just something that you like. And on this one, I'm going to have a little base almost. It's going to be curved like that. And a little, maybe this comes out a little bit and we have like a little oval. Like that. Erase these lines. Swoop down, something like that. Okay, and now the aloe is just going to have real long, thin leaves that come to a point. Okay guys, so this is basically my window. Now, I chose to have some kind of a scene outside of my window. Again, you can put any scene that you want. I just kind of wanted a little mountain scene, kind of way back in the background. So I just kind of made this little bump. Maybe just some indication of like little hills or something in the background. I also wanted to have like a little bush and a tree outside of my window. So for my bush, I'm gonna have just sort of some straight lines. It's supposed to be like a little hydrangea bush. And then I'm gonna make like a little flower head at the top, just with a bunch of little curved lines to kind of make the outline kind of an oval. The hydrangea flower is made up of a whole bunch of tiny flowers. It's like one big flower, but the one big flower is made up of a bunch of tiny little flowers. So, so just lots of little kind of curved lines to kind of show that shape. Okay, I'll just do a couple twigs in here. And some can be bigger and some can be smaller. And then over here, I'm gonna have a tree branch. So my first one, I'm just gonna kind of go up at an angle. And then I'm gonna do a second one next to it. And then we can kind of like split that off like that. Take like a little, put like a little V in it. Okay. And then from there, I'm just gonna do a bunch of little twigs. Like a little stick with a bunch of little lines coming off of it. And it's gonna have more and more little lines, like little twigs and branches towards the end. Okay. And again, you guys can do any kind of scene that you want. I'm doing like a twiggy tree kind of thing. You guys can do whatever you want. Maybe you want a rainbow or some clouds out there. I don't know. Okay, so that is my scene. Now, what I'm going to do for mine is I'm going to go ahead and get my Sharpie or my micron pen and go over all of this. And then erase all of my pencil marks so that I have a nice line art drawing, like an ink drawing instead of the pencil drawing. At this point, I'm going to actually let you guys decide how you want to color it and really what media you want to use too. I'll show you the first sample that I did up here. I did a watercolor version, which I think turned out kind of nice. I used lots of like kind of grays, like soft grays, and maybe a little bit of like a yellow orangey color to show the reflections of the different shadows and stuff on the walls and on the curtains. And then I used some bright greens for my leaves. And I did a terracotta pot on the left. A terracotta is kind of like an orange clay pot. And then I did a blue pot on the right. And just played around with different colors. I wanted it to be like a March scene, a late winter, early spring. So outside is still a little bit cloudy, but a little bit sunny. And then all of these really vibrant plants in the foreground. So that's what I did for my sample for you guys. But I want you guys to be able to do whatever you want and whatever medium you want. So, you know, if you want to use colored pencils, would actually be really pretty on this. You could also use marker. I wouldn't recommend the chalk pastels because I think that would get too messy. You could probably get away with oil pastels if you wanted to, but I think either colored pencil or watercolor or even markers would be a good choice for this one. So I'm going to let you guys finish this off on your own, and go ahead and send me your pictures when you're done, because I'm really kind of curious to see what you guys do with it. Oh, and also my little hydrangeas, since I started telling you about the hydrangeas. So this little plant back here, back right there, is the hydrangea. And it just kind of has like brown, it has beautiful flowers in the summertime, but then they kind of just turn brown in the winter, and they stay on until spring comes. So if you did draw those in, I don't know, maybe make those brown, but you can really do whatever you want. Okay, so I hope that you guys had fun with this assignment, and I don't want you to be done yet. So either, like I said, Sharpie it in and erase those lines out, and then watercolor, which is what I did, or, you know, colored pencil or something else to finish it off, okay? So I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and definitely send me your images. I can't wait to see them and see how they all turned out. Okay, you guys take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.